and I am transgender. I'm making this because I feel like there's some stuff that I need to say that needs to be addressed that people need to hear. So let's get to it. First of all, I want to talk about my personal experience and what I feel like is a lot of people do a lot of stuff for attention, and a lot of people want that attention and they do it, seek it, and all that. And me coming out as transgender has not been that situation. I'm not looking for attention. I came out simply to make this transition a lot easier on myself. And I admit I am a huge impulse person. I do a lot of things on impulse, especially shopping. But again, another thing, I didn't just impulsively decide. Sure. I did not just wake up one day and, decided, let's tell the world I'm transgender. I have actually struggled with it mentally for a long while now. I just took a long time to accept myself and, like I said, just accept it. And, it's taken even longer to come out and tell everybody else because, what I don't think people understand is coming out is a big deal. You are telling the world, especially if you come out on the internet, because everyone in the world will probably end up seeing it someday. But it's a big deal to come out, and it's very stressful, and it's very difficult, and a lot of people still haven't, and it's just a very difficult thing to do, no matter what you're coming out as. It's never an easy thing to tell people anything. But for that reason, I want people to know that I did not come out because I am lying, or I want attention, or, I'm not 100% sure of this, because what people don't understand is I've known this for a while. I just didn't accept it, and I didn't deal with it, and I pushed it to the side and pretended like I didn't notice. But I kind of always knew. But anyway, I just want people to know I wouldn't do this and say this and put it out there and, come out to my family and my friends and everyone else if it's not what my heart wanted. Because I don't do things my heart doesn't want. And this is what I want. This is who I am. Eli is me. I am a boy, and it's who I am. And I wouldn't do this even if I was half sure I was. I'm 100% sure, and this is something that I want more than anything. And like I said, I wouldn't do this if it wasn't something I was sure of, but I'm more sure than anything at this point. So, another thing I would like to talk about is transitioning. People don't really understand transitioning, so I'm here to enlighten you a little bit and maybe just make you understand the severity, yeah, of transitioning, because it's a big deal, whether you know it or not. You're changing everything about you physically into something completely different. So first of all, as being a transgender female to a male, I will not be able to have kids. Nope. I will never be pregnant. I will never be able to conceive. I am not. Nope. Not gonna happen. Once you get transitioning, you can't. I'll never have biological kids of my own. I can adopt, and there's probably plenty of other things I could do, but biologically, I will never have my own kids. Ever. Once I transition, and that's a big deal. People don't really realize. They're kind of like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not just looking like a boy. I am a boy. Wow, can't believe I just said that. Anyway, so next thing is, you don't go back. You can't just halfway decide this isn't what you want anymore. That's why a lot of people have to do lots of intensive therapy and lots of self-finding, because if you're not 100% sure with this, then it's not going to work out, because you can be 90% sure about this and still transition, because you might get that other 10% while you're transitioning. That's something I actually watched in a YouTube video. which is another thing. Um, a lot of things, a lot of information I found out, and a lot of soul searching was found on YouTube because a lot of people made a lot of videos talking about it, and it really helps because if you talk to people who are going through it, have gone through it, it just makes things so much easier when, you know, you hear their stories, or, you know, they give you advice like how to look more masculine or feminine or this and that. So yeah, so educate yourself for another thing. Definitely educate yourself. Another thing I don't think people understand is it's a big deal. I'll emphasize this as best I can, is transgender is not something to be taken lightly in any means. Because I bet you $10 right now, if you Google trans suicide, you'll get about 1,000 articles, if not more. Because not only are transgender and LGBTQ people and supporters are killed in attacks and all that, they're being murdered for who they are, but a lot of them also kill their own selves, you know, because especially if you don't have a lot of support, it is extremely difficult, and a lot of people don't even really get the chance to come out or even try to transition because there's just so much hate in this world. And you know, you think 2017 we'd all be accepting and on the same boat here, but yet there's still so many people who will sit there and criticize in school, at home, friends, family. Yes, family. There's a lot of family that does not accept LGBTQ, and I'm not only talking about trans people, I'm talking about the whole community as a whole. A lot of parents don't understand or accept it. So that drives a lot of teens mad, and teens aren't the only ones who are ending their lives because of it, but just saying, you'll find a lot of articles because it's extremely difficult mentally to have to go through, especially if no one is supporting you. So please, support your LGBTQ community because they really need it. We don't have equal rights. You know, you think gay marriage would be legal in all states by now. I mean, what's the problem with it, right? Still, you know, you have those homophobes, all kinds of phobic people that are hating on other people for being people. Logic, right? But that's another thing. If you know trans anybody, support them. Let them know you're there. Let them know you care. Let them know you love them, and respect their pronouns. If they ask you to be called a certain name, call them by that and their pronouns, because I guarantee you it'll make them really happy. And it makes transitioning so much easier when people just refer to you as who you are instead of who you don't want to be. And makes dysphoria go down a little less. But that's another thing you could do. That's a big deal. Please support it. I know for me personally, when I get called Eli or I'm addressed as he or Mr., it makes things a lot easier, and it makes me more comfortable, especially transitioning, especially pre anything, because it's hard, especially when you're not on testosterone, you're not on estrogen or anything like that. It makes it extremely difficult because you don't feel or look or anything like the gender you're supposed to be. So if you could just support them, that'd be great. And another thing, yes, there's another thing, is transitioning takes a very long time. You do not get everything figured out over one night. Especially mentally, it takes a long time to transition. Just gonna say transition. And therapy helps a lot, especially if you're still struggling. It's just a good support to just talk it out and let your feelings out, and, you know, makes things that much easier. But it's not something that happens overnight, unfortunately. I can't just be a man by tomorrow, as much as I would love it. It just doesn't happen, and you have to be patient. But what comes with that is, when you're trans, you also have to be patient with everyone else, especially family, because they're not going to know what to do overnight. They're not going to know what to call you overnight. It's going to take time. But parents, friends, family, please, when you are addressing somebody that is trans, if they give you a preferred name, please call them that. If not, try to catch yourself. You don't exactly have to try to, be nice with their pronouns, all that. Just try to catch yourself. it'll make things a lot easier for everyone. But that was my 2 cents on this whole thing, because I feel like a lot of people are not educated, and they need to be, because transgender is a big deal and it's a lot to deal with. And this just helped me take a little more weight off my shoulders. So thank you for everyone that was listening. This was Eli, and I love you all, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night or whatever. And